1. A lot of changes happened since last week, some good, some not so good. Stay tuned, the Mexican Minute is coming right up. So hey gang, how are you doing? Jonathan here for Tailhunter Sportfishing, and it's time once again for the Mexican Minute La Paz video fishing report, coming to you from La Paz, Mexico, and taking care of all of the fishing action for our Tailhunter Sportfishing fleet for the dates of the 4th of July through the 11th of July 2024. Wherever you are, hope you're doing well. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for spending time with us. And once again, if you like what we're doing, please do us a big favor, give us a thumbs up, a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, a lot of changes since our last edition of the Mexican Minute. I got to tell you, I'll be straight up with you. I don't like to cover things up when we don't need to do things like that. That's not the way we do things here at Tailhunter. It was not a great week of fishing. I'll be straight with you. A lot of things changed, and I don't quite know how to put my finger on it, but we struggled this week. I mean, there were some great fish caught, but there wasn't great fishing. Big difference between the two. The waters, the last couple of weeks we've had a lot of winds come up from the south. A lot of that had to do with a lot of these big storms that have been hitting even on the east coast. Those things are very, very powerful. They come across mainland Mexico and they do affect the weather patterns here on the Pacific coast. And so for a couple of weeks there, we've had some really strong winds come up from the south. We've had some big waves accompanying them. And I think that's really pulled up a lot of cold water from down deep. It's turned over the water. There's a lot of turbidity. The captains are telling me the water's green, the water's cold. There are some blue patches, but a lot of the water is really disturbed, and to find a blue patch, then you find a bunch of green, dirty, off-colored patches, and I have to believe that that's really affected the fishing. We really struggled, no question about it. This was maybe, I gotta say, maybe the worst patch of fishing I've seen in a couple of years here. For the last 2 weeks or so, on and off, it's been very erratic. Well, it's gone from erratic to just pretty much very, very tough fishing. There are some great fish, like I said. We've caught some great Dorado this week. A lot of our folks caught the biggest Dorado or the biggest whatever it may be, but it was a real struggle in between. Normally, this time of year, we'd be catching a lot of Dorado. We'd be catching some other species, hooking maybe some tuna, some jack, some bonita. There's a lot of action, and that's what we count on, having a lot of action. Maybe you only get 5 Dorado at the end of the day, but you still caught, 10 bonita, some jacks, hooked maybe a tuna or two, a lot of things going on. But this last session that we've had, guys would come back, and some boats literally came back telling me they caught nothing to bring back. Captains shrugging their shoulders, saying we caught a couple of bonita, we caught a jack crevalle, and that was it. Or we hooked 2 little Dorado like this, or a boat comes back and they caught 1 big Dorado, but that was it. That was the only hookup. A real struggle. Some of the Dorado, I will tell you, are trophy-size fish, 20 to 40 pound size. Others getting lost. The marlin bite is still very, very strong. There's a pro and con to catching marlin and me putting up pictures of marlin. You're allowed to keep 1 marlin per day, and most of our folks release them. If you got to kill one, you kill one. If you can't release it, we understand that. But some folks are coming out thinking that there's marlin swimming all over the place. That's just not the case. There's 1 marlin for 10,000 Dorado, for a zillion bonita, a billion needlefish. So it's not like you check off a memo and go, I'm going to catch a marlin or a sailfish today. But because the bite on the billfish has been pretty good the last 2 or 3 weeks, some folks are coming down going, well, I think today we're just going to spend it. We're going to catch sailfish and marlin. And then they come back and they're kind of disappointed. Well, you're really swinging for the fences. Yes, you have a better chance now than maybe 2 or 3 or 4 weeks ago of catching a billfish, but that doesn't mean like you just ordered up, like you order French fries or a hamburger or a cheese pizza or something like that. They're out there. And I will tell you, here's the weird thing. Folks that are specifically targeting marlin or billfish, I'll say, yes, we'll go for them. We're going to troll for it. We're going to spend a lot of time, because you've got to cover a lot of ocean. We're going to drag lures back and forth and up and down. In my experience, that has not produced a lot of billfish. Most of the folks that are catching the billfish, like we've got some big stripers, some big sailfish. blue marlin are in the water right now in the 300 or 400 or 500 pound class, and we've hooked a couple of those. Most of those are getting hooked by folks who are fishing for something else, and that's probably why we're losing them, because you've got 40-pound test on or 30-pound rig in your hand, and you've got Dorado, and then you've got some bonito and some other species, and here comes Big Mo, and he's opening his mouth and he's feeding. He's eating the Dorado, he's eating the bonito, he's eating needlefish, he's eating the little tiny baits that we're throwing out there, and he eats one of them that just happens to have a little hook in it, and suddenly you're hooked onto the biggest fish you've ever seen in your life. And there have been some spectacular fights, some great stories. Most of them are getting lost. We have hooked a number of them. Most of them are getting released. But it's not like you just walk out and you suddenly order a marlin. Today's going to be marlin day. Tomorrow's going to be Dorado day. The next day is going to be tuna day. Fish for what's there. Don't get disappointed if you don't catch specifically the fish you're looking for. It's been a struggle the last couple of weeks, or the last week and a half or so. It's going to change. Hopefully by the time you're coming down, and that's the cool thing about fishing down here in Baja or fishing in La Paz, it doesn't stay bad for very long. We may have an off day, then it comes back very strong. So I don't know how long this is going to last, but probably by the time you're coming down, maybe by the time you're actually watching this report, things will have changed. I'm counting on it. I'm hoping it's going to do that, because right now everybody's struggling. But the clients are being very, very patient. They're hanging in there. The captains are working extra hard. Some of the boats coming back late, trying to do everything they can to put some fish in the boat and get some action. But we're all struggling right now. No question about that. And we're just going to keep at it. And hopefully by the time you come down, things are going to change. In the meantime, stay tuned. I do have some fish in the fishing gallery. At other times, there haven't been as many pictures because I didn't get so many pictures. This time I don't have as many pictures because there weren't that many fish caught. So hopefully by the time you come down, things are going to change, but I just want to be honest and upfront with you about what's going on. Anyway, I'm Jonathan for the Mexican Minute. Thank you for checking in. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up, a like, and please subscribe. You take care of each other. God bless. We'll have better news for you in the next session.